Hey everyone, this is Odell. I'm away in San Francisco this week, so please enjoy this rewind episode. We will return next week with an all-new episode.
Welcome back, boys and girls, to another exciting episode of Full Circle. I'm your host, Odell Harmon Jr. Find me at your favorite social medias, not including 4chan and Reddit.
Everyone's just anonymous on 4chan, though.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, that's how much I don't know.
Yeah. I'm the other host, Jared Fradette. You can find me at all your favorite social medias, excluding 4chan, at ToonVelo. So we have another exciting episode for you today. We'll be discussing a topic we mentioned we would do earlier, character alignments. What is an anti-villain? I don't know. You put it in your car, prevent it from locking up.
Is that antifreeze?
Oh, that's what that is. Yeah.
Is that what antifreeze does?
Well, yeah. It's so that it doesn't freeze and harsh, right? You put in that in the air conditioner and
okay.
Don't drink it. It's methanol based.
Yeah, that's bad. You'll die.
Yeah.
We'll also be talking about Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie. We finally got the full body reveal of
whatever that is.
Yeah, whatever.
But first and foremost, at the top of the hour, something more exciting is Nintendo's new Labo VR set.
Yes, it is Labo's Toy-Con version 4. We had the original Toy-Con set that came with things like the piano, which still amazes me to this day, the fishing rod, the motorbike, little remote control cars. It's crazy that you can actually play it on that thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like a full little octave, right?
Yeah.
Plus or minus, then you can it's almost like an organ, right? Because you can pull out da da da, put that on repeat, plug out, push in, and then you just start building your own little symphony.
You know what? There it is. It should have been called the Organ Kit, but that does not sound as catchy.
New from Nintendo, black market organs. Wait.
And then we had version 2, which was the full robot suit, which I have yet to build.
And this whole time I just been imagining you around your house So you're saying that's not true?
That's not true. We have version 3, which I wasn't going to buy because I was like, I still haven't built version 2, which involved the little multi-terrain vehicle game, which was cool. It was you took out it was those very animes where it's lock, key, initiate, and it transforms to something different.
Yes.
I really wanted to buy, I think you would enjoy it because just the locking mechanism I find fascinating, where it's that's the pedal. Anyway. But now we have version 4, which is the VR set, which I predicted, by the way, not on the show, but just in general.
I was going to say, we probably should have predicted it on the show, or at the very least, I feel everybody should have seen it coming. It's really obvious.
A little bit. But yeah, we're getting it. It's going to come with, what was it, 4, 5, 6 VR experiences. What are those, Jared?
They are the VR goggles, the blaster, the camera, the bird, the wind pedal.
I know what that is.
Right? And the elephant. Or as I think most people refer to it, Divine Beast Von Ruta.
Or Elefante for our Spanish-speaking friends. I just like saying Elefante.
Elefante.
Once I found out that's what they called it, I just thought it was cute.
Why don't we call it that?
I like words in different languages that sound virtually the same as what we call it, just with a nice little flair to it. It's ooh, that's an Elefante. It makes it just sound a little bit fancy. Anyway, so this is exciting. So first and foremost, these will always probably be cool. Labo has yet to disappoint. They
put their own unique spin on whatever we think is a rehashed idea.
Yeah, because unlike Lego and some other things, there's fun to be had once you finish actually building it. Because let's be real, people.
You can play with Legos.
No, you can play. You can imagination play with Legos. It's oh yeah, look. First of all, when you see the kids, and they're first of all, they're this is 1,000 of the sets put together. Second of all, I like how they say images in the background are not real, and so
yeah, it's in your imagination.
This is a Lego set. Oh, let me fire the missile. Boom. Oh, cool. Half of it just blew up to fire that.
Yeah.
Now let me.
No, it's
fast motion build it again.
No, it's great. Have you never just destroyed your Legos?
One, I prefer Connects. 2, no, because after all that time building it, I'm not about to just destroy it.
Yeah,
you can't play with it because you destroy it in the process of playing with it.
No, you destroy it, and then you get to build it again. Okay, I was that kid. Apparently.
I mean, that's why I like Connect, because it actually worked. But that's why I like Labo, because it's fascinating building it.
Lego has motors. There's full scale models of like a model of like a bridge builder that I'll have maybe found a gift of to display here.
Lego has very few things that actually do things.
Okay.
Even their cars are just like, clunk. Maybe square wheels wasn't the best idea.
They have round wheels. Thank you very much.
Okay, I mean, they
even have rubber round wheels, or the rim themselves for like trains. I should have brought my. If I knew we were going to go down this route, I would have brought my Harry Potter Lego train. So we can roll it around. It's like woo-hoo. Anywho.
So
Labo.
Labo. So I always find it fat. I know you haven't done it yet, but when you start building it, like there's a part of me, even though I know we're still just like, there's no fucking way. Like there's just in my mind, like there's no way these 4 sets of cardboard are about to like be a functioning thing, and like it's so intricate as you build it. You're just like, yeah, you're just like, okay, I guess, and then an hour later you're just like, oh, you're turning things and you're just like, this is amazing.
I see.
So, but here's the bigger question. It's probably going to work. It's going to work well, but what does this mean for the future of Nintendo products? Like, we're getting a camera. Are we getting Pokemon Snap? Because that's what people are going to say.
That'd be great. That'd be pretty great, actually.
Are these all just Virtual Boy-esque experiments for, like, the future of the gaming? Is Nintendo just using us as product testers? I'll be okay with that. It's fun. It's fun product testing.
Right. I don't know. This kind of goes back to our original debate on is VR viable, period. I guess we really have to wait to see what these the VR goggles and blaster are pretty explanatory. The camera too, but the other 3, bird, wind pedal, and elephant.
Okay, so the bird in my mind is just going to be flapping and you're going to be a bird doing bird stuff, which I'm perfectly okay with.
Okay, here's my actual guess for the elephant. I think it's supposed to be like almost like chatting, because if you look on the face, it covers the face and there's these dots to like track your movement. So I think it's gonna like you can design like your me or whatever, and it will display onto that, like onto your face. So like if you're looking, it's like the trunk is like an elephant, it's like the camera, and you can like, I don't know, like funny web chatting.
Oh, I literally just thought you'd be an elephant and you're just gonna be like, oh, look at me, I'm sucking up water and now I'm spinning it on stuff with my nose.
The Sims, but it's just the elephants.
I mean, it's similar with the birds. You're a VR bird and now you're a VR elephant.
What's what's that one, like Bumblebee Simulator? Elephant Simulator. And then wind pedal. I don't... It's also the weirdest, I think, shape of all of these. I wasn't even sure what it was until we looked it up.
It's an actual pedal. Maybe you just use it with some of the games that you need a foot action for. I don't know.
I guess.
I will say this. VR is viable since PSVR, like, it works. I'm not sure if the consumer market really wants it, but we're at a point where I'm like, it works. It works how you expect it to work.
I guess.
But are people really just... Because I still think the problem with VR is that, like, I don't think it will ever be people's preferred way to play. Like, some things are cool in it. It's cool to show off. It's cool for a while. But I can see myself, every day being like, now this VR game.
Well, like our original kind of detrimental points for it is it requires a big empty space, and you pretty much have to have someone else with you to make sure you don't run into the walls. Like, I know that they'll pop up like, danger, danger. You're about to hit a wall. You're going to hit it anyway until somebody screams out or stops you.
I mean, do you really? I mean, if you have the space, I feel like most VR games don't require you to actually move.
Well,
like your like legs indirect, like,
fair enough.
Torso up move, but
fair enough. My other concern here with the Switch is, unlike all the other VR games, consoles, sets, the Switch is actually fairly large for a VR thing. So I don't know. It almost feels like, what's the point of the little goggles? I could just hold the Switch really close to my face.
I don't know. Besides the one kit, I could be wrong. It don't seem like the Switch goes into one of them. It seems like the other ones just operate off the
Joy-Cons.
Yeah, and the lenses.
The lenses themselves.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I will say it's advantage to like PSVR and HTC View and all the other computer-based ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, Connect if you want to count that failure.
That wasn't VR. That was just motion tracking.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm pretty sure it was tried.
Motion tracking and consumer monitoring. Sorry, somebody who didn't buy the game is in the room. They have to leave.
That was a horrible idea. But unlike this, I'll say this one you're not really bound by anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, you can like take your VR sets on the plane and stuff, but I don't know how many VR sets you can literally just be like, and I'm here. Right, I'm in VR. I'm doing this.
VRs are always still rather clunky, right? Switch is nice. It's portable. It fits. You can almost fit in your pocket, like depending if you have like men's pockets.
Yeah.
But yeah, to add the like chunky VR headset to it too, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna like.
No, I remember when Samsung VR was really pushing the phone thing, which is like, I'm like, how many people are like, here's my Galaxy and this headset, and just be like, and people are just like, oh yeah, I'm like, first of all, you just look foolish.
Right, like, I don't know, I'm not about to sit on a bus or any public transit.
And be all.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Switch VR, you can at least tell someone's playing like a little game. Like, if anything, it has the effect of like looking at it. You remember the little crap, they were red.
Yeah.
They were like the little.
Magic eyes.
That's what
they're called.
Yeah. Like, it gives off that effect. It's almost like being on the phone. Okay,
Magic
someone
eye?
tells you.
Magic viewer? I swear it's something magical. Yeah. So, retro time. There was this old-timey VR set that contained circular pieces of film. Film is printed digital photos.
You know, you said film. I was like, why is he? Oh, crap. Yeah.
Right. So, like, it would be on both sides. So they'd both feed into both eyes, slightly apart. And it would give you that in-depth 3D look.
And you could see things like, you know,
the Grand
Eiffel
Canyon.
Tower.
Yeah. It was always like destinations of Earth. And yeah, so if you've ever seen an old TV show where like there's been a slideshow presentation, you could do that with a little lever on the side to your eyes.
They were so captivating. I don't know why. The pictures wasn't all that great. They were just still images of a thing.
Because it was VR and it was fun. It's like I'm here at the Eiffel Tower.
Were they going for a VR effect? I wonder. I feel like I was just looking at pictures in a viewer.
Yeah, viewer reality. Basically that.
Basically. So, how do you think this is going to affect games, though? You think we're going to see any of this incorporated into future games, or they're just having fun with it?
If it's Pokemon Snap, like you said, which, again, bring in the Pokemon Go crowd, I think that would add a new, interesting layer to it. Everything else, I'll wait to be astounded by Nintendo, but I don't predict anything of interest.
Yeah, I guess so, because they've been real subtle with other stuff. Like, they added Mario Kart where you can play with the actual motorbike, which is cool, I guess, you know.
But I've yet to been to a party where people were like, let me whip out my Labo for this portion.
Well,
first of all, Jared, you've yet to go to a party. Call me out, Odell.
No, I was going to say, I don't know how anyone can ever whip out any of the Labos after you're like, hey, where did you keep that? Don't worry about it. It was just...
Where did you keep that? In this... you ever carries around little briefcases and they just like instantly fold it together? Yes.
I guess you could. I mean, it is cardboard at the end of the day.
Yes.
Well, that's Labo VR. We're excited. You should get it.
You can view things fictional in real life. Well, that'll be interesting. But speaking of Nickelodeon, sad passing, right? Yeah. We covered a couple weeks ago passing Stan Lee, and we've got number 2 now. Yeah. We have to look out. Tragedies come in threes. So.
Oh, you're right. This one's very unexpected. He was a young guy, right? How old was he?
Yeah, I want to say just about 50.
Yeah, I believe he was in the 50s.
Yeah.
The point is way sooner than, most people expect the time nowadays.
So, of course, we're talking of Stephen Hillenburg, the creator of SpongeBob, the former director of Rocko's Modern Life.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Director, not creator. I remember the creator. His name's Joe Murray, because that's my grandfather's name, but my grandfather's not the creator.
Plot twist.
Plot twist. But yeah, so do we know what he passed of yet, or
ALS.
Oh,
Luke Garrett. Is it Luke or Lou?
Lou Gehrig's.
Lou Gehrig's disease, yes, ALS. He was contracted with it sometime, I believe, a year or two ago. Within 2 years, it was either last year or it was announced.
Right.
I don't know when he contracted it exactly, but a year ago he said, he revealed that he, been struggling with it, or that he was coping with it, and unfortunately he lost his life to it this year.
Oh, that is even more sad. I did not know that.
Yeah.
But I guess we can look back on the great things he's left behind, which is, I'll say predominantly people will know SpongeBob. And I know that people might be thinking about this a little tongue-in-cheek, a little like, really, SpongeBob? I'm like, no, like, the first 3 seasons, which is really when he, like, he only wanted it to be 3 seasons, and the movie that he worked on was, in his mind,
the finale.
And we get some of our best episodes from that.
No, I was reading articles after his death about, the 10 best SpongeBob episodes, and they were all within that 3 seasons. Like, it was like, episodes, it was like 01, 02, 03.
Mm-hmm.
And, most good shows know when they end. And I don't discredit him for this, but, as SpongeBob went on, it lost its charm. But as you said, he worked on those first 3 seasons, and I'll say there wasn't a bad episode among them. Mm-mm. And people, if you know me, I'm not one to just hype something up. Like, SpongeBob was hilarious. Think about it. Meme culture is SpongeBob culture.
Oh my gosh, there's a reaction image for everything. Like, you can tell a story with just pictures from it.
And all those memes, for the most part, are, guess what? Like 90% from the first 3 seasons.
It's true.
I'm just saying, imagination.
F is for friends who do stuff together. U is for you and me. N is for anytime and anywhere at all. Down in the deep blue sea.
Me and Jared have some conflicting
lyrical memories here. F is for fire. Okay, we won't do that one. No, I love that one. I love the musical number, the marching band episode, because I was a band nerd. Like,
I was too.
It was great.
And it was just good and funny.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
No, Patrick, mayonnaise is not an instrument.
Oh.
No, I love the part when, like, Squidward's friend or his rival squid person that's, successful at clarinet and everything.
Oh, yeah. Richward? That's not it.
And he's like, Squidward, this is exactly why I just imagine your band to look like. SpongeBob's doing, like, his silly dance with it's... I said this on Twitter earlier after I learned about it, but I've always took pride in the fact that Sandy Cheeks was from Texas.
Yeah.
She was stereotypically from Texas, but...
But she was awesome.
She was awesome.
She knew karate. She could stand up for herself. An independent female squirrel living on her own in a hostile environment, underwater, where we can't breathe, because we're mammals.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incorrect. Whales are mammals. Anywho.
So are dolphins.
Okay.
Manatees.
There are many examples here where I'm wrong. She was a non-aquatic mammal. There we go.
What's a platypus?
Wait, no, I know this one. We'll come back to this.
Nature's mistake is the correct answer.
No, it's amazing. It's like the best of everything. Little poisonous barbs, little beaver tail, a duck bill. They're like really round. Oh my gosh, okay. This won't mean anything to you, but I'm going to put it in the GIF. Deploy the boy. Okay, and so...
All right, you out there watching this in post, I hope that made sense to you because I'm lost.
My coworkers have watched me laugh maniacally to that for too long. But yeah, it's like, we got, back to Sandy Cheeks, we got several cracks at Texas, but they were fair.
Yeah,
they were fair.
The thing, I was like, they were fair. They were like, But the one thing that was true, her pride was real. Like, we're from Texas, we live in Texas, and we can say...
Our state is #1 in state pride.
Yeah, and it was like...
I would say, not trying to be political, but during the last campaign cycle, all of our ads were like, "Hi, I'm a Texan, y'all. And y'all know that Texans vote Texan, right, y'all? Y'all Texans?" Like,
is this working for you? Does this do anything for you?
That was... that's what it was, and it was terrible.
The thing I also said when I made that, because one of my friends commented after college, she moved to Cincinnati for a job, and she said the Sandy song where she sings about missing Texas meant so much to her. Like, she randomly watched that episode, and she said it and I was like,
right in the feels.
Yeah, but SpongeBob, it's great. The first 3 seasons are great, and I mean it's impact. Cause think about it, the genius of SpongeBob memes is that they never have to be explained. Most memes, I feel like I have to look it up, ask someone, or they're just like I get that what the meme is conveying, but the picture and stuff doesn't. But with SpongeBob memes, I've never watched you. You instantly can think of the episode, you can think of the situation, and you can like associate with whatever, you know. You don't have to guess with them.
Oh, right.
And that's a genius to his creation. Like, it's so widely understood, and man, and I mean, few things can do that.
I say it even has the Broadway play, which I think has been on for about 10 years.
Really?
It's been on longer than you think it has.
Cause I remember I recently saw a commercial for it, but I thought it was like brand new.
Well, I think now it's like touring.
Oh, okay.
Like it might be off Broadway now, and it's like just touring around, featuring music of Jonathan Colton, Portal fans,
Ooh.
Right?
Good stuff.
Right. So he did not. Sorry, I listened to NPR a lot. He sadly did not win the Tony for it this year, but
Boo.
I know.
Boo.
But clearly, someone has seen enough depth and class and highbrow humor in SpongeBob that it's worthy enough for Broadway.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite SpongeBob episode?
I'm just gonna say the marching band episode.
Okay. Mine is gonna be, I think it's called Idiot Box, but the one where I said imagination, because I love how they get in the box and Squirrel's like, that's stupid. And, you know, I assume you've seen them, so if you haven't, so they're just literally sitting in the box closed. And when Squirrel walks away, they're using their imagination to go through like elaborate events like car chases and standoffs and like
Watch out! No!
Yeah, and there's their face.
Move in!
And Squidward keeps opening the box and they're not doing anything. And so he finally gets in and he's just like, all right, how do we do this? Close your eyes. And they're like, beep, beep, boop. And like, it's what you imagine 2 kids in the box sitting, imagine just making random noises. He leaves and then my favorite was like the avalanche where they're climbing like the Himalayas. They're like, Patrick, I'm never gonna make it. Avalanche! Ah! He's like, SpongeBob, I need you to cut off my legs. He's like, I can't. I've already cut off my own arms. Like, the chopper's on its way. And Squirrel's like, what? He opens it. And he opens it again. And, of course, you know, nothing's happened. And it just goes on like that for a while, but in, like, hilarious fashion. That really, maybe only SpongeBob could do.
Right? But first and foremost, we're talking about Pokemon, not Detective Pikachu. We're going to be talking about science in a science paper. Yeah. So.
Excuse me, Jared. I believe it is called a science journal.
A science journal. Yes, you're correct. So, for those of you who don't know, IRL, I am a scientist, and we have things occasionally where we get together and hold journal clubs. It's like a book club where somebody explains to you a book that the rest of the group didn't read. So, from the Journal of Nature and Human Behavior, which is a high-impact journal, it means it's big, it's really good, coming out of Stanford University, is a group has found that extensive childhood experience with Pokemon suggests eccentricities derives organization of the visual cortex. So,
in layman's
terms, if you played Pokemon between the ages of 5 and 8,
woohoo!
Yeah, you have set up your visual cortex, right, where you process vision, is wired differently than everybody else. It has a whole different region that detects specifically Pokemon.
So, if I'm understanding this correctly, they have discovered a legit, literal Pokemon region of the brain.
Okay. So they in the paper they clarify, no, they do not want to call it a Pokemon region. Right. Okay. So why did they do this study? Now this will answer your question about this. So they did the study because across all people, right, the vision center of your brain is set up near identical, basically identical. And, you know, we scan people, we look at it, we do tests, and everybody's process is the same way.
Okay.
Right? Now, Dell, is this like biology, right? To be humans, we just have to have our visual cortex designed this way? Or did we learn it from looking at things as babies?
I'm going to go with looking at things as babies.
Well, how can you prove that?
I cannot.
Right? Because, like, we've all grown up looking at the same things, right? We all grew up looking at mom and dad and toys and places. And these are all the same things. And so, if you want to try and develop something new and see if it actually has an impact, well, beyond the kind of ethical concerns of, like, you know, tricking children into learning something, you know, that kind of has implications. and then waiting like 20 years for them to grow up to test them to see if it actually developed. That just takes too much time. However, Pokemon did the experiment for them already. Right? It's like, okay, we all saw literally the same thing at the same resolution.
Around the same
age, at the same distance, on the same platform. There you go. That's the experiment. So now they get to analyze us and see what we've done. And sure enough, every single person who did this, when compared to people who hadn't done this, right? So people who have taken up Pokemon Go recently, they don't have the same region of the brain light up.
Oh man, you're really missing out. Again, I said this before. If you play Pokemon Go and enjoy it, actually pick up a core game. You'll be surprised or horribly disappointed.
Yes.
One of the two.
So, but people who had this region of the brain developed this way, it responds specifically to Pokemon, and only Pokemon. A little overlap with faces, but they're not sure if that's because something related to Pokemon or because Pokemon have faces. Right? Okay, so a little bit more elaboration, right? So like our visual cortex is like process like, is it a face based on like curvatures? Is it a big open place? Is it a word? Where were you focusing when you were doing it? Like all this is kind of like logged, and it helps us quickly shunt information into different regions. So for example, if you're processing things kind of close, kind of small, and slightly curved, your brain goes, face. It's a face, right? If it's processing something that's moving real quick and small and at a distance, animal. If it's processing a ton of stuff peripherally and very big, you're outside, right? But Pokemon, even though Pokédex and Nintendo list like how big they are, there are no real Pokemon. Oh, now there are, right? AR.
There's no Pokemon in the real world to actually
perceive.
Yeah.
So we've all like had to make up a perception in our mind, and we're all focusing right here on it. And it's not quite a face, and how it moves isn't quite animal-like. So it's truly something unique here.
It's just static.
Yes. So other questions people might have, right, that the paper also answers is, well, maybe this is just the effects of gaming, right? Maybe this is like lighting up gaming stuff. No. So they took original scenes like Lavender Town, Pallet Town, and the bike trail from Red and Blue, and just showed these images to people. It lit up the region of the brain for outside and places and buildings. Yeah, they took people's faces and made them 8-bit and small. It went, nope, that's a face. It showed them a Clefairy, and it went Pokemon.
That's a Pokemon.
Yeah, and so they keep doing it too. So likewise too, if they show them newer Pokemon, it lights up as Pokemon.
So our visual cortex developed a new category in our brains to recognize this thing is probably a Pokemon.
Yes. So, of course, we're talking about Pokemon, but you can apply this probably to anything that's new coming out too, right? Like, people are always like, can you imagine babies know how to use tablets? I can't figure out what it's telling me. Well, it's been set up, right? They can recognize it. They've learned. Because the brain's amazing.
So does this make us better than the average bear? Or beware.
Teddy Ursa. No, we're just naming. Ursa. Okay. No. Right. This isn't anything new. This hasn't taken up more brain space. It's not right, because I've seen some comments online like, "Oh, great, you've wasted space learning that." That's not.
First of all, you can't waste space in your brain.
Right.
Like the brain can infinitely learn whatever it wants.
Even if so, it's like, learning my coworkers' birthdays, memorizing Pokemon.
I got my priorities straight.
Right. I made the right call in life. Let's see. Some other fun things. Okay, so specifically some of the categories of things that they were also showing us. I wasn't part of the study. Showing people were, and I'll put it the figure, is they had people try and discern between, is it a face, an animal, a cartoon, a body, a word, a car, a corridor, or Pokemon.
Corridor, huh? That's oddly specific.
Right, because it's like, it's one of those things, again, like, even if you see a tiny picture of it, your brain perceives it must be a large area. Right? There's a lot of fun stuff where it's like it shows people who are experienced versus people who have not seen it.
And before you naysayers start your naysaying, this is in a scientific journal. We may have dumbed it down for you, but Jared is literally flipping through pages and pages and pages of research.
Right.
So we'll link to it. So if you want to know for yourself, the facts are there. You can read the research and be amazed. And like we were saying, it doesn't necessarily make you smarter or that you're better at recognizing things. It just means your brain has literally created a new category things called Pokemon. Pokemon's now a category that your brain's like, when you recognize Pokemon, only this part of the brain lights up. And it's basically like, yes, you can visualize this as a Pokemon. And that's cool. That's really cool, actually.
It really is. Let's see. I guess I'll just go and read the closing statement from their discussions.
All right.
Okay. So, overall, our study underscores the utility of developmental research, showing that the visual experience beginning in childhood results in functional brain changes that are qualitatively different from plasticity in adulthood. Right, and that's what we're saying. Like you are set up now. You didn't learn it. You just are. It's like, you didn't get any aftermarket extensions. You just came with a V8 engine.
I like that.
Future research to examine the amount of visual experience necessary to induce this distinct cortical specialization and determine the extent of the critical window during which will still be further need to be explored.
The thing, before we leave this topic, that I still think is cool, is that some scientists were sitting around, I was like, we've been trying to do this thing. What about Pokemon? Like, I just want to know that pitch. Like, they're
yeah.
Like, I wish I was there in the room for that pitch.
So,
like, and in conclusion, I suggest that for this study we use Pokemon after, like, I'm pretty sure, like, 1,000 fancy science words.
I was going to say, specifically, I forget who the main scientist is on here, but first author is Jesse Gomez out of the Girl Spectre lab. I was listening to this I actually heard this from NPR. They had him on. He's like, yeah, I played Pokemon as a kid. So this was pretty like, oh yeah, I know these parameters you're talking about. I lived them. There we go. Easy peasy.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. We all live
in a Pokemon world.
I feel like I'm gonna get that like tatted on me at some point.
You should. No, like wait, can you, like I feel like that's your like Knuckles like
that's too many words.
Like Pokey life.
Oh no, that's lame.
Okay.
Like the phrase is nice.
We all live.
Like they'll be like instead of like in God we trust across the back, it's just like
no, you got to do it with the collarbones. That's where like people get like. Yes.
Oh.